The Bible Story by Arthur S. Maxwell, Volume 1. Part 4, Story 6, Children Like the Stars. As year after year went by, Abraham began to wonder just what God had in mind for him. He had left Ur of the Chaldees as he had been told. Now he was in the land of Canaan, had been for a long time. Now what next? He remembered how God had said to him, "I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth, so that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed also be numbered." What did God mean by children like the dust, when still he had no child? True, he had lots of servants, and they had many children. He had thousands of animals, and they kept increasing every few months. He was getting richer and richer in gold and goods. But was this what God meant? One day, God said to him, "Fear not, Abram, I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward." It was a most beautiful promise, but it did not answer the questions that had been growing in his mind. "Lord God," he said, "what wilt thou give me, seeing I go childless, and the steward of my house is this Eliezer of Damascus?" By this Abraham meant that, seeing he had no son of his own, all his property would go at his death to his head servant, or overseer. It showed how low he was feeling at the moment. God's answer sounded almost indignant. "This shall not be thine heir, not Eliezer, not this man from Damascus." "Then who?" asked Abraham. "Your own child," said God. It was night, and God led him out into the darkness and said, "Look now toward heaven, and tell the stars, if thou be able to number them, so shall thy seed be." Abraham looked. There above him he saw all the myriad twinkling pinpoints in the sky, each one a flaming sun in the far distances of God's infinite universe. Perhaps he started to count them, then realized he could never do it. Not if he counted all night. Not if he counted for the rest of his life. Children like the stars. Thousands upon thousands of children. How could it be? How could he ever have that many children when he still had no child of his own? It seemed impossible. Even so, he believed in the Lord, and the Lord counted it to him for righteousness. Then God said, "I am the Lord that brought thee out of Ur of the Chaldees to give thee this land to inherit it." "How shall I know?" asked Abraham, longing for some stronger evidence that this would really happen. Then it was that God gave him a sign to put his old heart at rest. He was told to take a heifer, a she-goat, a ram, a dove, and a pigeon, and divide them. Having done so, he fell into a deep sleep, and lo, and horror of great darkness fell upon him. Presently, he heard the voice of God telling him about things to happen in the future, how he would surely have children, and no matter what trials they might pass through, God would watch over them always, and at last fulfill every promise he had made concerning them. And it came to pass that when the sun went down and it was dark, behold, a smoking furnace, and a burning lamp that passed between those pieces. Great darkness, then a light. And what was this light? A smoking furnace? A burning lamp? Oh, wonder of wonders! Could the symbol of the presence of God be also the symbol of a star? Could it be that God was trying to tell his faithful servant that, while at last his children should be numberless as the stars of heaven, one of them was even now very close to him, coming sooner than he dreamed?